Welcome to the Squid Game Season 2 tier list, where I rank all of the characters from this season into categories from S tier, representing the ultimate Thanos world, to E tier, the dreaded red light. Let's dive straight in and start with our first character, player 044.
Who's that?
She used to be my therapist.
Also known as the Shaman, is undoubtedly one of the most annoying characters of the season. Though undeniably significant, she's been spouting cryptic prophecies about Gi-hun's return and even his potential death, which has fueled theories about him possibly sacrificing himself to end the Squid Games. Despite her role in the story, her mysterious ramblings and her decision to mentally check out and nearly drag her entire team to doom makes her deserving of E tier. Thanos, on the other hand, is a tricky character to rank. At first, I didn't like him at all. He seemed unlikable and even annoying. But over time, he has become one of the most entertaining figures this season, bringing levity to intense moments. Fan edits have turned him into an icon, and the fact that the actor essentially channeled his own personal struggles into the role adds a layer of depth. He's an easy S tier, even if he's not always the most sympathetic.
I like you.
Player 125 is going into D tier because he betrayed his only friend during the mingle game, who had stood up for him against bullies and then lacked the courage to redeem himself later. The recruiter, on the other hand, is pure S tier. He's an OG character who perfectly embodies the greed and cruelty of the VIPs who revel in the despair and desperation of the participants. His Russian roulette scene with Gi-hun brought back the intensity of the original series, and his performance was unforgettable. Player 222, also known as the ex-girlfriend of MG Coin and the pregnant woman, deserves a B tier spot. She's one of the few genuinely likable characters, as her motivation to participate is purely for the survival of her child. Her ability to bring humanity to the group, with everyone, even player 001, looking out for her, makes her stand out. Chul-rok, however, is a D tier for me. While he's a kind-hearted member of the mercenary group, aiding Hwang in finding the island, he's been, let's say, pretty useless and forgettable so far. Perhaps he will redeem himself in Season 3, but for now, D tier feels right. Player 149, also known as the Mother, is easy an A tier character. She's well written, despite her simple role of being there for her son, and she's essentially the mom of the group, particularly for player 222, and she is a character you just can't dislike. Her potential death in Season 3 would truly be one of the most emotional moments and a grim reminder of the horrors of the games. Player 388 had a strong run as one of my favorites, especially during the Gyeong-gi game, which was one of the coldest moments in the season. He was loyal, reliable, and a good guy through and through, until the final episode, where trauma rendered him a shell of his former self, and while still likable, his decline bumps him down to a B tier. Player 95 falls into C tier for me. Her death was tragic, as she was the closest companion to player 120 and desperately wanted to leave the games, only to suffer the consequences in the end because of others' greed. The frontman, or player 001, is a guaranteed S tier. His manipulation of Gi-hun, combined with his constant testing of Gi-hun's morality, creates one of the most compelling dynamics in the show. Watching Gi-hun break free of his patterns in the games while still grappling with his humanity was fascinating. The inevitable face-off between Gi-hun and In-ho in Season 3 is going to be epic, especially when Gi-hun discovers that In-ho, whom he once trusted, was behind the deaths of all his friends, Season 1 and Season 2. Player 246, the father, trying to save his sick daughter, lands in C tier for now. His motivations are touching, but he has been more of a, let's say, narrative bridge than a fully fleshed out character so far. Hopefully Season 3 will give him more room to grow. Gi-hun himself might be controversial, but I'm putting him into B tier. While he was incredible in Season 1, Season 2 shifts the focus to other characters, and his new motivations don't hit as hard as his survival arc in the first season. Player 390 is a solid A tier. His laid-back attitude was reminiscent of Gi-hun from Season 1, and his death, while not the most emotional for me personally, was a key moment in fueling Gi-hun's hatred for the frontman. Triangle is also a tier for me. Her role as guard-turned-organ smuggler, who still clings to some shred of humanity, adds a fascinating layer to the behind-the-scenes world of the Squid Games. Her storylines, whether it's reuniting with her daughter, saving player 246 and his child, or aiding in the downfall of the frontman, make her a very interesting wildcard with the potential to ascend to S tier in Season 3. Player 120 is easily S tier.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
And one of the standout characters of Season 2. As a trans character, she is written in a way that's natural, relatable, and compelling without feeling forced. a true MVP of the series. Player 124 ends a B tier as a villain we all love to hate. He's not as complex as the frontman or as entertaining as Thanos, but he serves his role well, and his likely demise in Season 3 will be a cathartic moment. Player 196, who had great chemistry with Thanos, unfortunately doesn't have enough screen time to rise higher and goes into D tier. Her early death set the tone for the stakes of the season, but she's mostly forgettable. Hwang Jun-ho is a tough one, but I have to rank him in D tier for now. His role in Season 2 wasn't particularly impactful, but it's clear that he will play a bigger role, a much bigger part, in Season 3. Player 380, who constantly trusted and was betrayed by Min-soo, is a B tier for me. Her loyalty and tragic death made her a fan favorite, even if her screen time was limited. Player 007 lands in C tier as I feel like his story will surprise us in Season 3, whether it's his sacrifice or his mother's death. He has definitely potential. Finally, MG Coin sits in Z tier, and he had a weak start, but gained some traction towards the end of the season, and his dynamic with Jun-hee and his potential sacrifice in Season 3 make him worth keeping an eye on. Alright guys, that's it for my Squid Game Season 2 tier list. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the characters and my tier list and how you would rank them. Until next time.